listen to your heart. Mirror, mirror, the reflection of the love.
If I back it up, is it fat enough? When I throw it back, is it fast enough? If I sweep it up, can you handle that?
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, what is up, and welcome back to my trading journal. And yes, the NFT is still going down. Yes, I'm still trading every day, and it's been such an incredible, every time I come on to do a video, I'm always like, oh my god, it's been an incredible time, I'm having such a great time. Like, I'm so immersed in this world of investing and with the charts and everything. I'm having such a good time every single day, whether that's with ups, whether that's with downs. Either way, being part of the journey is just so incredible and so enjoyable, and I just want to talk about it all the time. Hence why I wanted to come on and do a YouTube video today, which I'm really excited about. I'll probably do a YouTube live later on with you guys as well, because I'm hitting some personal milestones right now and I'm incredibly excited. But something did happen over the past couple of days which I just want to talk about. I just really think it's important that we talk about it, because things are changing and everybody is now starting to notice. I think everybody's starting to realize how impactful cryptocurrency really is becoming. So I wanted to speak about, what's really going on with cryptocurrency at the moment, and why I really chose to invest in it in the first place, and why I still so strongly to this day believe why I'm going to continue to invest in these spaces. So if you are new to the cryptocurrency space and you have no idea what's going on, don't worry. It's going to feel confusing in the beginning, but the more you immerse yourself in this world, the more research you do, the more reading you do, the more you're going to understand actually why this is so powerful right now. We are literally in such a pivotal moment of time for humanity, and things are going kind of crazy. You guys know, if you've been with me from the start of my journey, I started off trading just Forex. I pretty much just stuck around with GBP JPY. That was my favorite. You just start to learn how to analyze the charts and you get more comfortable the more trades that you take. I've been able to create a whole life for myself through simply just following the steps, following the strategy, and just growing my accounts, basically. I didn't start trading cryptocurrency until actually a year ago. Can you imagine? So I was strictly Forex for about a year and 3 months, let's say. I hadn't bought any Bitcoin. I hadn't done any research, really, even though with the IM platform, you have like DCX and, all the crypto education. I just never really dived into that. I was just so solidly Forex and market geometry and, oh my God, the purple zones and DeLorean, harmonic patterns. Like, that all really was my bag, and still is to this day. However, I've spent a lot of time and money investing in other areas, ensuring that I have a wide asset portfolio that is diverse going across and not necessarily just going deep on one thing. So I first bought Bitcoin, I think it was like November. It was just after Thanksgiving last year, so 2020, where we had just a bit of a dip because, people want to buy presents for Christmas, so they withdrew their Bitcoin in order to buy stuff. So that was when I first got in, and I've been tracking my entries ever since. And with every cryptocurrency that I buy into, I track my entries. I then plan my future projections and, when I want to be entering in again and again and again. So I'm consistently buying. I'm always in the process of buying. But there's a really specific reason as to why I started so heavily. I think before I first bought Bitcoin, I wasn't like a naysayer of Bitcoin. I actually first heard about it in 2000 and I can't remember. I was at uni, 2014? No. Year 12, 2012. What? Really? Blimey, I have no idea. Maybe it was 2016, I think. That's when I first really heard about it. And a friend of mine told me about it. Maybe he watches this. Who knows? He told me, he was like, oh, you should buy this Bitcoin thing. And at the time, it was £300 for a Bitcoin. Can you imagine? And I was like, no, I'm too broke, because I was a uni student and I was in my broke bitch mindset, and investing was something that I wanted to do, but I just didn't have the money, and I was very much in like hoarding phase. I was doing a lot of like digital marketing work from my bedroom through Fiverr, and I just wasn't really in the mental space. We say that, being an investor, you have to have the investor mindset, and I just really didn't have the investor mindset then. So could you imagine? I missed out on Bitcoin way back when. However, he should have really followed up with me. I'm just saying. Being pushed to learn more and to understand more about the technology and why it's so important. So yes, I've kind of been introduced to that space, but it wasn't until like September 2020 when I actually started to really take notice. And that's because I was asked to do 2 audiobooks. Now, I like to say that life leaves clues, but this really was a clue that life was like trying to push in my face. So for those of you who don't know, I also do voiceover work. So I'm a voiceover artist. I tend to do mostly like corporate jobs and things like that, just because having a well-spoken English accent is quite handy. Again, another stream of income, okay? If you want me to do a video on that another time, let me know. But I was approached by a person who had written a whole book and he wanted somebody to do his audiobook. So I did the job and I spent maybe about 2 weeks in my wardrobe. Guys, doing audiobooks is long, hard, and boring. However, this book was incredibly interesting and I was fascinated and I just couldn't wait to read more about Bitcoin and actually how it's so fundamental for our current evolution with money. And I was almost having this like FOMO whilst I was reading it. I was like, God damn, like the system's fucked. And there's me thinking like, oh my God, I've actually got to get into this. Like my money is not safe with the banks and liquidation and Federal Reserve banking and the national debt and all this sort of stuff. So at that point I was like, okay, this is serious now. And this is something that I really actually need to be getting involved with. Not just Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency in general. Purely because, you know, it's about bringing power back to the people. Not that I'm wildly like anti-establishment or anything, but, you know, protect yourself, protect your back. And then after that, I was asked to do another book on cryptocurrency. So the first book was mostly about a guy's experience being a miner, and he contributed to the mining of Bitcoin and how he got like found out by the CIA and all this crazy stuff. So I was like, oh my God, this guy, who is this person that I'm reading about? And it was him, like it was his autobiography. It was wild. Anyway, and then the second book was a bit more technical, more looking into the maths of things, looking into the science, the technology, and more about systems. So yeah, both very different books, both very interesting reads. Sorry, this is me rambling. You can tell I haven't spoken to anyone about this in a while. After doing those 2 audiobooks, I was like, right, I need to find an in. How can I get into Bitcoin? When can I buy in? When can I buy the dips? And, you know, actually start my crypto investment journey. And once I got in, I waited for Patrick Kenny to give us a good entry. So if you guys want to learn how to get solid entries with cryptocurrencies, let me know, because, you know, we do all of that in trade. Oh, I'm not wearing the hoodie. In Trade Creatives, in IM Academy, like this is what we get taught. And now we do it all the time and it's so amazing. And I love feeling, you know, really in control of my crypto investments. And it means that I can enter into trades without anxiety, without fear, and, you know, purely through understanding what you're looking for, why, and when. And of course, you know, if you guys know me, you know that I'm a massive tech geek. Like I love gadgets. I'm super nerdy. I love gaming. Like I wish I could do more gaming. I wish I had more time for gaming. But one of the reasons why I love investing in cryptocurrency is because it's tech. It's geeky, it's nerdy, and it's tech projects. I always say this. People think that you're just buying a coin, and it's actually not. You're essentially investing in a tech company and their projects. And that's what I love. It's angel investing. It's investing in the innovation of technology. And, you know, by you putting your money into this cryptocurrency, you know, you're keeping them afloat. You are backing their ideas and their ideology and product, I suppose, that they're creating. So for the fact that it's like super nerdy and techie and geeky, that's like all me. So tick, perfect. Cryptocurrency was definitely my bag. But the things that have been happening recently really have opened my eyes as to why I think it's so important right now. You know, through Trade Creatives and IM Academy, we're helping people to actually start their investment journey. Yes, to learn how to become Forex traders, but also start their crypto investing careers, you know. And when you're teaching people, okay, so this is an exchange and this is what you need to do. This is how you buy Ethereum and blah, blah, blah. And the banks are really, really pushing back when it comes to people depositing money into these crypto exchanges. And it is absolutely shocking to me. And I know that Binance have had some issues around their tax. They kind of like went through a weird phase at the beginning of last year, but now they're back up and running and they're doing great. Coinbase is another crypto exchange that, you know, has a really great user interface. It's very sexy, very easy to use. But again, they're having issues with their taxes because they've been avoiding paying their taxes and kind of offsetting it to us, the people who are using the platform. So the transaction fees are incredibly, incredibly high. So I try not to use Coinbase anymore. That's just my own personal opinion. It's quite handy though if you're a complete fresher to the investment space, then, you know, Coinbase is pretty easy to use. And there are plenty other more. But what I'm noticing is that when people are trying to buy cryptocurrency, the banks are blocking transactions. They're saying flat out no. And people are having to call them, like for example, Barclays and Nationwide and all of the, I wonder, am I going to get in trouble for saying all this stuff? I don't know. But they're blocking transactions. Then people call them up and say, hey, I'm trying to like buy me some Bitcoin and you're not allowing me to make the transaction. I would like to release my money so that I can make this purchase. And they're saying flat out, no, we will not allow you to make this transaction. It's crazy to me. And what I'm seeing now is that they're giving pushback and saying, oh, you know, cryptocurrency has been associated with scams and this, that, and the other. But we know, and we know that they know, that Binance or any of these other exchanges are not scams. They are just an establishment that allows an exchange of money. And they're doing a lot of fear mongering to discourage people from moving their money from the banks into these decentralized spaces. And I find it absolutely shocking because, say, for example, if I wanted... Popular Nikki! But for example, if I wanted to buy a £2,000 pair of shoes, they're not going to block that transaction, which is even worse because I'm releasing my money and actually not going to get that back because it's a product, right? So the fact that they are blocking these transactions is actually really quite concerning to me because they are withholding our money. And I don't think I really even noticed or even took it that seriously, but now I'm really seeing the pushback. Like, banks are becoming a lot more aggressive about how people are managing their money. And it's quite scary, and people are really shocked when they're saying my bank said no. And that's a bit crazy to me. It's just a bit crazy to me. And we have to remember that banks literally thrive off of debt. That's how they work. If anyone knows anything about Federal Reserve banking, then you'll know that like all banks are in debt to like 1 to the power of 9 or something like that. So it's pretty unsettling and disturbing when you actually get to know the finer details about how the banking system works. And our money that is technically in our accounts, quote unquote, is what they are day trading amongst each other, right? However, if the debt is increasing or they have debt to the power of 9 and their actual liquid assets is being removed and put into decentralized spaces, the banks are actually losing like millions and millions of pounds every single day, and they know, and they are freaking out. I would love to speak to somebody who's actually working higher up in a bank who can actually, I don't know, bring some insight into how people who actually work on the shop floor are feeling, because if I'm thinking this, then surely there are other people who are noticing this is happening. I'm not coming out as like a weird conspiracy theorist or anything, but this is just what I'm noticing. Detective Walker on the case. And I'm finding, I tell you what, it's not scary to me. It's not scary because we know the information, you know, I'm financially free. So it's just nice to be able to feel comfortable and confident in my own financial ecosystem, because I've done the work to set myself up that actually, should everything liquidate in the banks, it wouldn't matter to me because I've been able to set myself up in a way that ensures that I'm still stable and independent. However, for a lot of people, for the majority of people, everyone's assets are being hoarded in banks and in the banking structures, ISAs, bonds, yields, whatever. It's just... So I'm just being super observant during this time and enjoying watching what's happening, because technology is growing, is developing. Like, we are in a really innovative time. We are also in the age of Aquarius. If anyone like knows their horoscopes, then you'll totally understand what I mean. You know, we are in a time of enlightenment and unified knowledge, and everyone's coming together. And this is why the blockchain is like so impactful. Bruh, honestly, I could talk about this all day. I find it fascinating. I should really I'm so sorry, everybody. You probably thought this was going to be a really informative, like, video, and it's just me rambling on. Hey, it's just me rambling on about crypto. Okay. I can't even remember what I was saying. Shit. But you know, this is only the start right now. Really, we're still only at the beginning. People are like, this is going to end, the bubble's going to burst, blah, blah, blah. We are only at the beginning. And, you know, we just don't know what's going to happen. The banks could turn around, every single bank could turn around and just say flat out, no. Now, any procedure to any online crypto exchanges could be illegal. And that would cause an absolute uproar. Could you imagine? So, I don't know. But this is why I'm investing in cryptocurrency, because we're realizing more than ever that we actually don't have control of our money. We're not independent. It's time that we have more ownership and agency with what we actually have, rather than giving it to the middlemen and then they just kind of do what they want with it, because we'll just always be at their mercy. It's super interesting. It can feel kind of scary if you kind of go down that rabbit hole, but it's just really important, I think, to like disseminate the information and just be like, so these banks are giving us a lot of pushback and here are my thoughts on it. But I always say, you know, like, I am not the fountain of knowledge. I am still very very much a student. I'm still learning myself every single day and enjoying the process too. I think this is the thing. It's not now saying, okay, I'm going to put everything into cryptocurrency. That's not true. Have a diverse asset portfolio, have a wide portfolio of things that you invest in, whether that's physical companies, whether that's businesses, whether it's property, whether it's, whatever, whether it's digital, online. There are so many opportunities out there that we can be taking advantage of, and cryptocurrency is just one of those. If you don't have a crypto exchange, I do have a couple of links to crypto exchanges down there, which are quite handy, because I think if you use my Coinbase one, you get some Bitcoin, you get $10 worth of Bitcoin. Binance, there are loads. They're doing lots of incentives right now because, again, the crypto exchanges are all kind of battling with each other to see who's going to end up on top, and they're really incentivizing us, which is something the banks don't do. When was the last time that your bank gave you a referral code and Bitcoin for introducing somebody to Halifax? But we are starting to see a few more incentives coming into play, whereby they're increasing interest or commission rates for us for holding our money in the banks. This is what came out quite recently, actually. I wish I knew a bit more information about that. I don't. So yeah, it kind of feels like we're like little pawns in a giant rat race right now. But you know what? Enjoy the process. Sit back. Dinner and a show. Dinner and a show is all I say. So long as you're eating from your investments, then baby, it's dinner and a show. But I do have a list of crypto exchanges in the description box down below. If you'd like me to do a video about just different crypto exchanges in general, then let me know. I can do that. But otherwise, that's kind of it from me. I have a few more things I'm going to be doing today, a few more investments. And next week I'm buying a car but no income claims. I've said too much. I gotta go before they shut me down. Love you, bye.
Listen to your heart.